But yeah, it's tough to see a former MotoGP world champion, and I think Lewis probably regarded in terms of talent top 3 in the world, to see him struggling at the wrong end of the timesheets.
And on pure, if I had to ask one rider to get all the support and all the energy, all of these thousands of fans who've paid their money to cheer him on this weekend, and he must know in his heart of hearts that he's not really got.
He's just feeling of the rider. It's very, very difficult because we are making everything right. When we are making the start in the practice season, we are making a very good start, but then we are going to the grid, make some confuse to the rider, or we have to work. It's very difficult, very, very strange, but sometimes this is just feeling of the rider.
I have to ask you about next year. As you say, the talk of the town at the moment is where he's going to end up. Right now, how likely is it?
More than a couple of months, a pre-season deal we believe was negotiated between Alex and KTM. And I think before Fabio Di Giannantonio made it clear that he was potentially on the market, it looked like Maverick Vinales is going to be slotting in alongside Alex Marquez. But when you're not here, when you're not performing, and when you're sidelined through injury in a rider market season, it does sort of spell a bit of trouble as far as Maverick Vinales is concerned. Maybe he'll be a surprise pick to go to Trackhouse. Maybe reunite with Davide Bruvio and reunite with Aprilia, of course, the factory team he left at the end of 2024 in rather surprising fashion to join KTM.
And so much about this sport is what have you done for me lately. It's very easy to become the flavour of the month, and it's very easy to be forgotten very quickly if someone else jumps on the radar and starts producing the kind of results and performances that Fabio Di Giannantonio objectively is.
On his 11th lap of the session, here he is on the number 72 bike. He was certainly rapid through the first half of this current lap, on course for 11th to first. Where will he go with the end of this lap over the short run to the finish line? Second, not bad at all, that from Bez, a 1:31.53. Although Luca Marini has just immediately taken that second place away.
Last time out in Jerez, or our Aprilia, who we shouldn't forget did get all 4 bikes across the line in the top 6 still in Jerez. Even if they didn't win the race, are they still the reference brand?
Once again, taking his time to wake up on a Friday morning is Ayagura. He's just gone up from 17th. Fernandez will this put the Spaniard up inside the top 10. 13th he sits at the moment. Yeah, big improvement from Fernandez, up 6 places into 7. The quick check on Jonas Folger in for the absent.
From a physical standpoint and result standpoint has been trending in recent times. Quartararo half second off, might well lift himself up a place or 2 with this, but this is really the kind of territory that the 2021 world champion is dealing in at the moment. 14th place.
This time last year, Lucio Cecchinello was in dreamland at the end of this French Grand Prix, having watched Johann Zarco win it in spectacular fashion. Can they make it back-to-back wins here? Well, let's get the thoughts of the boss for Jack.
Yeah, of course, 12 months on from that memorable French Grand Prix. Johann Zarco, just interestingly, you said he was coming down pit lane. He has just now come into the box, so hopefully in a few moments we'll get an understanding of what happened there. Bit of a weird one. You are the best weather forecaster in the paddock. Are you ready to do it all over again?
I was lucky. So let's say that yes, there are some possibilities. The expectation is too high at the moment, but anyway, let's see. We will do our best as always.
Thanks, Lucio. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Now, I think his blood pressure levels are just about stabilised after that French Grand Prix here last year. Yet a day that none of us will forget.
22, although he didn't perhaps enjoy his wet weather experience here last year. Bastianini in total served 4 long laps here during that flag-to-flag Grand Prix here last year. He took out Bagnaia, so perhaps he'll look to banish those memories if we have a similar rain-affected race on Sunday.
6th in Austin, though, and 8th in Jerez. Back-to-back top 10s for the second time at KTM. Just looks like we know that he's got a class rider. He is top-notch, isn't he? And when he's on song, lots of room. 2026 double podium to kick off the campaign in Buram. Pretty AWOL he was in Brazil, and then back on the podium in the Grand Prix in Austin, and then struggled throughout the Spanish Grand Prix weekend. 12th in that dramatic flag-to-flag sprint, and then a rather disappointing 10th place in the Grand Prix. So easy to do. You don't get a real sense from the live TV picture of just how significant the drop away is as you break down the hill into that turn number 8, one of the hardest braking zones around this Bugatti circuit. Shame that, because Digi looked like he was potentially on course to better his 1:31.302, which has seen him top this session for quite a period of time now.
So we pick up the Gian Antonio then into the S Bleu finish line, which is right on the exit of this final corner. We're looking to pick up Alex Marquez, although he's taken a shortcut, which is usually through Chemin au Boeuf. So at the moment, it's super competitive and super tight. Just over a second, 7 thousandths more than a second. Covers
Tom Didier cost him almost 7/10 of a second. And the reason why that's such a demanding braking zone here, 265 kilometres down to 80 kilometres an hour in less than 5 seconds. It's some deceleration. 49 of the Gian Antonio is concerned.
Apparently not.
No, it's not. It's because he's taken the shortcut.
Well, that's one way to set a couple of red sectors, although, of course, they do try to cut that Chemin au Boeuf as tight as they can to get the best possible run out of it, so maybe he just went the wrong side of the curve.
As he crosses the line now, the number 10 factory Honda, that's brilliant. A 131.120 then from Luca Marini.
This circuit, well, we didn't see much of that from Bagnaia in Jerez, although he's also taken a shortcut or perhaps breached track limits, one or the other. It's saying a shortcut on our screens, but certainly didn't see one as well, following Bagnaia around the lap. So we'll pick up Marini instead on the fresh, soft front, medium rear Michelin rubber, and he's on course here for the first 130.
On that fresh Michelin rubber is Marini, and we do, as suspected, get our first sub 131 lap of the morning. It's a 1:30.857, so 15 very productive laps so far for Luca Marini.
Not the usual kind of jump that you would see on a fresh tyre that you get at other circuits.
Now we know Marini has been out on a fresh front tyre and a fresh rear tyre, so he has capitalised quite brilliantly on that fresh rubber. But Fabio Quartararo, just looking at Yamaha, their quartet, Quartararo is the only Yamaha rider within a second at the moment of Luca Marini, although Alex Rins is about to change that right on cue. We pick up the number 42, and Johan Zarco is on a real quick lap. Rins goes third, a 1:31.302. That's exactly the same lap time set by Fabio Di Gianantonio. Now Johan Zarco
is a special rider, particularly here at Le Mans. He climbs 3 places to 12.
Can't recall many practice sessions in recent years where we've mentioned Marquez so little. We saw him on screens at the start of the session because Marc has been quietly going about his business on the 93 factory Ducati. His best work so far this morning has been a 1:31.788. That came very early. Marc has completed 18 laps in FP1. His best that time was mentioned
very shortly. Ralph Fernandez up into 4th, Brad Binder in 8th. Binder, who I'm sure is still thinking when he goes to sleep at night about that sprint in Jerez, which he looked on course to win until he crashed at turn 2. He was several seconds ahead of the factory Ducatis, who ended up fighting for victory that weekend, and in the end remounted, still finished up inside the top 4.
So it's still Luca Marini, the only rider that looks like he will be in the 130s at the end of this session. We